when we talk about the importance of combatives, the best way I can say it is that it exponentially increases the importance of having combatives training. Anytime you're involved in a fight with a weapon, whether it's deployed or not, you are now in a gunfight. What is your threat priority? Meaning, is keeping the weapon in the holster in that moment the priority? Improving position, offline and creating distance, addressing the immediate threat, is that the priority? Anybody that decides to carry, whether it's on duty, off duty, concealed, whatever, bears the responsibility of training consistently combatives, ground defense, and all those things that go with it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are out here with our defensive tactics instructor, Jared. Welcome back, man. Or don't give me a handshake, that's cool.
My bad, bro.
And former UFC light heavyweight Daniel Sarafian. We've had him out here before. We spent the better part of a day getting my ass kicked by this guy, so thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course, man, you're always welcome out here. So Jared, what do you got in store for us today?
Okay, so today we're gonna break down a little bit more weapon retention and incorporate that with some of our ground defense. One of the topics that came up earlier was the importance of training ground defense combatives in conjunction with carrying, whether that's concealed carry or carrying in the field for LEOs. And one of the things that I try to make known is that there's a huge responsibility for people that are carrying to train combatives, and especially with that, training ground defense. I think that bears a huge responsibility for those of us that carry daily. And one of the things that I kind of try to remind people is anytime you're carrying a weapon and there's a fight, it is now a gunfight. So a couple of things that I try to remind the students too when we're training these techniques is threat prioritization, is basically identifying what the threat is in that snapshot of the fight, whether it's keeping the weapon in the holster, retaining the weapon, or if it's to improve your position, escape that position, or sweeps and things like that. So a lot of that's contingent upon your training, your opponent's training or skill level, the retention on the holster, and obviously most important, the position that you find yourself in during that fight. So we'll touch on that a little bit as we start to break down these techniques.
All right, well, me and Daniel, we're gonna be the dummies in this situation, so just let's get to it.
Again, we're gonna break down some weapon retention from, again, kind of these worst case scenarios. Ground defense, incorporating weapon retention. Threat prioritization, meaning what in that moment of the fight is the priority? Is it weapon retention, or is it improving my position and preventing getting knocked out or choked out or submitted? In most cases, weapon retention in that mounted position isn't priority. The priority is not allowing your subject, your opponent, to go to high mount, not allowing him to deliver strikes, rendering you unconscious, and not allowing him to improve position while simultaneously you are trying to improve position as well. Not like, what you can say, like 30%.
No, I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
A little fight.
Yeah, don't fucking.
Yeah, a little fight, Daniel.
Yeah, Alex gets his fucking leg fucking blown out. Fucking, I get an ambulance up here, dude. Pushing. Daniel, remember, drive forward. That's Brazilian for bang bang. So we'll run the first one of just the weapon trap to bump and roll. So he postures. Alex does a crossbody weapon grab. Daniel secures that weapon in the holster by collapsing the elbow, pressing it in, traps the same side leg, bump and roll. So again, the breakdown is postured, crossbody gun grab, right? He traps that arm, goes to trap the opposite leg, and Alex posts hard outside. From here, elevate the hips, shoot that knee through. Again, right in that single X, heel hooks are there, foot locks are there, but eventually he can either rack that weapon or get to his feet with a tack get up. I can tell you there's a big difference between doing this with a guy like him and doing it with somebody at DTAC. Because I know when I'm in a bad position, and I know that he's setting it up,
yeah.
and it's intimidating because it's like this would be done 30 seconds ago. But in certain situations, I know if I move a certain way with a guy that's skilled, I'm walking right into something bad.
Plus here, there is like that. Here is like we would say like it's 90% real, but not 100%. Why? Because here, you're still doing like protecting yourself, you know. In a real situation, you wouldn't care about your knee. Here, so you still do it. So like, you take a little longer, like to set up.
Right. Yeah, improve that position. Use the leg, yep. Hips out, Alex, keep that hip out. There you go, keep hipping.
That was fine. You motherfucker did things that I couldn't believe you did.
A lot of position changes, a lot of gun exchange. Like it was like he has it, no, he has it. It's back and forth, and like it's very, very realistic. So, you know, that's what a fucking fight looks like.
And what's interesting about it is like, even when you have the gun, you don't have it.
You don't have it. That's the thing. So I had, at one point with him, I had it secure, two hands buried under my hip. He started making it realistic by simulating elbow strikes. I'm like, shit, I got to cover here. Now I'm one-on-one, keeping it buried with the hip. And even then, him being able to move my position, skilled dude, being able to affect those transitions, you don't have it.
Yeah.
To your point, it's like, hey, two hands, you know, it's still unsecured.
Yeah.
Until it's in that holster, you're up on your feet, it's still unsecured.
Yeah, I had my back to you, Daniel, both hands on the gun, and I think even when it was just me holding the gun,
Yeah.
I
was holding your wrist.
You're holding my wrist.
Yeah.
One from the. I was rolling your wrist. So now I don't have the gun. You have the gun, but I have the control
Position.
where
Yeah.
the gun goes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I couldn't.
By controlling your arm.
Yep.
And as I'm watching that, I'm thinking, okay, right now, still the threat priority is still the weapon. Both guys are still focused on that. In all reality, if he had abandoned the gun control and let you have it, did you have a shooting position?
No.
And what were you giving up in the meantime? Fuck it,
Yeah.
that choke was right there. So I was thinking this can go one of two ways. They can continue to fight for that gun and keep that the priority, or one guy can bail on it.
But I feel that there is also a very threat.
Yeah.
It's a threat because I can go to choke and now he has the gun.
See, you let go of me for a second when you're on my back.
Yeah.
And I tried to turn the gun up this way.
Really hard to do.
It was hard to do, and then you caught my arm right away.
Yeah.
That's what I said. So even in that position, you know, even if you have control of the weapon, giving up that position is more of a threat. So when we talk about the threat priorities with weapon retention on the ground, hey man, sometimes the gun is the bigger problem. Sometimes the position's the bigger problem.
Oh, yeah.
With this guy on your back, hey man, that gun may not even be the issue.
Especially if you have a modern holster with,
Right.
you know,
And you're able to
levels of-
resecure it.
levels of retention that somebody who's
Yeah, but the way it was in there, I was in risk, but also like I felt that like if I drop one of his hands, which I had,
The gun is going to come
he
up.
couldn't come from
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, the reality, I mean, and that's the thing, and the reality of it is when you're in that situation, you don't know what his shooting angles are. You don't know what position, his position allows him to do. You're thinking of it from where you are, you know, that could be completely different
Yeah.
when he's thinking like, hey man, I'm being dominated right now. The best I can do is defend
Yeah.
that choke and maybe try to keep your tension on
Yeah.
the weapon. But
Well, you know, like we were talking about before, it's one thing to instruct the techniques and make techniques look cool on camera and throw them on YouTube, but it's a whole different story to get out here and put them into practice and see what works and what doesn't work. And that's what I like about what we're doing. It's rough, it's tough, but you know, it goes to show whether or not the techniques are actually going to work, which is what I appreciate, and I think that's what these guys appreciate as well. And I'm dead exhausted, got beat up by a UFC fighter multiple times now. So first of all, Daniel, thank you again, brother, for coming out, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're always welcome to come out here.
Thank you very much.
biggest
I
lesson
appreciate
is, get in a fight with this guy, run.
Yes. Jared, thanks for your instruction,
brother.
man.
Appreciate it.
Guys, hopefully you learned something like I did. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. And we'll see you on the next one.
Just showed him the
why-
other day, I got
why-
to do fucking sensitivity training, you know?
Wait, you don't like that?
Oh my God, bro. I'm sitting here thinking about what we're doing today, and I'm like looking at the screen like, this is fucking stupid.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
Do this.
Yep.
All right.